Okay.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I'm John Zidar. You know me. Today we have a co host. We have Taylor with us. Lily had a situation come up and she won't be with us next week. And maybe if she's having a really good time on that cruise, she's going to extend it another week. So we won't see Lily for a little while. I don't know who's going to be here each week, but I really love having different people because we get different styles of charting. I'm going to let them do all the charting. You see my charting all the time, and I only know so much. Everybody knows something different than somebody else. So I think that's a great part of our show. How you doing, Taylor?
Doing all right. Trying to figure this out a little bit because
Love that
StreamYard changed a little
enthusiasm.
bit for
Bring it
me.
on.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm here.
Welcome, everybody. Who do we have in the audience already? Well, of course, Velmore was there. We can count on Velmore unlocking the door for us. Mr. Mojo coming in close second. I appreciate those early tickers. Really, it gives me a chance to catch up. LT, of course. Look at all those LTs. I need that link. I thought I just gave that link to you. Thought I just dropped it
Oh
over.
no, that was that happened about 5-10 minutes ago.
All right, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, you're going by Taylor instead of LT. You're confusing me with all these
Am I
handles.
confusing it? Yeah, maybe I can change the name. Here we go.
Yes, Belmore misses Lily. Lily misses you
I'm
too. She
sorry, I'm
really
not
did.
Lily.
Don't take that personally.
Oh,
We
I
love
don't. I
all of
don't.
our co-hosts.
Yeah.
All right. I again do not have any news to bring up today. I'm going to have to start that all over. I was building it up and I kind of got away from it. So I'm going to build that up. But that gives us more time to look at stocks. I have a couple of stocks that were already given to us early, not too early, but enough early so that we can jump right on into it and know what we're looking at. So we are over here at the OTC market. This is where I do all of my research. Most of it, at least I start here, whether it be major exchange or OTC, folks. It's set up for the OTC, but a lot of major exchange information comes here and it's updated every single day by FINRA and the SEC. You can't ask for any more than that. No need to go running over to Google, searching through all that dead information. You're looking for something current. This is where you're going to get it. That's all they post. Now, something I want to point out, and I'm not happy to do it. We had a lousy day today on the OTC market. I haven't been monitoring this as often as I should. We did $1.2 billion today, folks. Second gear is 2.1 billion. That's bass backwards. We haven't seen that in 8 months. It's getting worse. We were stuck at about 1.8, 1.5. This is very, very scary, folks. Share volume 3.2 billion. I have only seen it go down to 4 billion and 3 billion twice in the last months. Normally we're between 5 and 10 billion, which is stinky. 10 billion, second gear. We are going in reverse now. And our trades are hovering at 250,000. Now, for those of you who don't know how low these are, trades, 250,000 back in February of 2021, our last stimulus check. And then I'm not talking about the extreme February. I'm talking about the norm in that period. We were doing 700,000 trades a day average. We've been stuck down here at 250 for a long time. Share volume was up at 70, 60 billion a day. We're doing 3 billion shares. So good news, hot news is not the best catalyst. 10 pieces of news, all worth gold. 1, 2, 3 stocks may move on it. The others wasted. Why? Why isn't there enough volume? Well, there's not enough money. There's not enough traders. Everybody's pulled out of the market. They're not shorting the market. They're not playing puts. So until the market starts going back up, most people have pulled out because they ain't got money to lose. And the market isn't giving a whole lot. So we are looking at hot stocks based on their charts. And we'll talk about that in every single video. So very first one we're going to take a look at was brought to me by Velmore. You can count on Velmore bringing us some good stocks. I'm glad you gave this one to me early, Velmore, because I couldn't find the catalyst. The chart looks pretty good. Well, it did for the first half of the day, and it looked really bad for the second half. And at my last glance, it looked like it was recovering. And I could find nothing over here. She finished the day about 7.5 cents with 10% loss. And she had a nice run early. She's got all her green ticks and she's on the middle tier of the OTC where they audit their financials. So this is a good place for a stock to be. Her most current information down here is January of 2023. Well, there's no way that caused the chart to move today. Looking over at her disclosures, quarterly report came out a couple months ago. Most recent filing more than a month and a half ago. So, like, where's the catalyst? Well, thank God I do leave the OTC market. Honest, I do. I use Google and everybody else. I found this. This was big news that came out today. VoIPPal.com has been suing lots of people for patent infringement. Down here, let's see. They tell us here that the company continues to win in court its patent infringement lawsuits against Samsung, Amazon, Verizon, Google, T-Mobile. The stock is once again in play, and this time investors are looking for a move to previous highs of $10. Well, the news that came out today, VoIPPal.com rising fast after potential settlement reached with Amazon in patent infringement lawsuit in Waco, Texas. Now, I found this one paragraph here. Plaintiff VoIPPal.com Inc. and defendants Amazon.com moved the court to stay the proceedings and all deadlines for 45 days. There's your window. The parties have reached an agreement in principle to resolve all issues in the case. And it's just not going to be a handshake, folks. There's going to be some money involved. And they don't go into that here. I don't know what it is, but not giving us the information is good. When you leave that big open imaginary number to the investors, they come up with all sorts of things, and you can see a stock start to run. So I seen this running earlier. I seen it pull back, and I didn't see any reason. Maybe just, profit takers. Let's see what the share structure is. Way too high. It's close to $1 billion, one way or the other. There's a lot of shares there, folks.
Looks like that news came out yesterday, right? Did that just increase the volume like really hardcore yesterday? And that's what happened today? Came back
It
down?
may have come out. Yeah, I'm reading this from May 3rd. Yeah. So
Came
when
out
I say
yesterday.
today, it could be in the last 48 hours. It is the catalyst because there's nothing
Right.
else sitting on the table. Financials, they got nothing. So everybody wants them to get this money. This is their revenue. This is what they live on. Just taking money from the big boys for using our product, which you can make a lot of money on these court cases. I have no idea what they've gotten from Google and whoever, all those other, Samsung. Have they been paid yet, or is that down the road? I really don't know. But that's the catalyst, and it's a big one. Show us that chart, Taylor. I know it looked good when I saw it first, then it looked bad. And is it doing anything better?
The y Can you share my screen? Because I can't get
Yeah,
it to share. Oh,
uh,
there. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay,
can
so
definitely do that for you.
alright. So that was what you just read, right? Okay, so I gotta get off of that. Now I'll come here. Because I only have one screen today. I'm on the laptop. So I guess yesterday was when that news came out. Okay, so we had like a gap up. Now I'm on the daily chart.
Yeah,
So it looks like we had a gap up and we have just a huge increase in volume, obviously. So I think it's gonna keep running. This right here is the 200 MA. These are the, let's see, 9, 21, and 50 EMAs. So it just basically bounced right over all that. We had a crossover yesterday. And if I do expect this to pull back a little bit, we might like retest wherever this 9 EMA comes in. If we get the same amount of volume, we've got to keep this volume up. And then after that, but let's see what happened today. I like to go the 15-minute. Okay, wow, look at that. Okay, so it basically ran all day. Look how I love how this basically followed the 9 EMA all day
yeah,
right above it. I mean, there was really no reason to get out of this trade if you were in this
right. If it's on top of the
bullish.
nine, it's ready to climb.
I probably would have gotten out right here. The crossover, I would have
Yep.
maybe let this one go, but when it starts to cross over, I would have gotten out, and if you entered, early on just because of volume alone, you would have still made a pretty big profit. I don't
Oh,
calculate it
yeah.
exactly, but that's what I'm seeing now. But you can see it's the buyers have come back in. After this, we have this a doji almost that it's almost a doji, but you can see it's got this long tail, so the buyers are stepping back in, and then we've got these two pretty big, substantial green candles. So that's what I'm looking at. And this is the 15-minute chart, by the way. So there is that. I could have deleted that. So that's what I'm seeing anyway.
Yeah, I'm expecting volume to come into this because anytime you hear about a small company suing a huge company, everybody knows there's big money on the table. And this company's got a long list of people they've sued. Sooner or later, it's got to roll in. I mean, they're winning. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. They're winning. It's not like they're
Let me
fighting,
get
they're
back.
winning. So, where is the money?
Yeah. Also, oh, look at this. So this is the daily chart again. So, I mean, it's right here about where that resistance was before. I
Yep,
guess this was back around February. So, I mean, it's right there. We're gonna have to break above around this, like, I'd say, 10-2 to 11. If we can get beyond that, maybe we can see even more. But let's go to
right.
the weekly, how long this has been around. Yeah, that's what I would say around like get past 11 and we could run again, especially since
Sounds
this
good.
volume has come in. See how we have volume here, volume here, volume here. Yeah, I would say get past like between 10-2 and 11, and we could probably have another big run again. That's what
You
I'm
heard it,
seeing anyway.
folks. All right.
That's
Oh,
what
I
I'm
see that
seeing. That was the
Velmore's
weekly chart, by
comment
the
up
way.
there. Let me hide that. There you
There we
go.
go.
Nothing personal, Velmore. All right. I will put up who I'm looking at next so you guys don't have any mistakes. Plus, I can see the ticker. Are we all done there?
Yeah,
I don't want to
I
cut you off.
no, 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 no. I was just going through what I was looking at on different time frames.
Yeah, we've got a few stocks here, so we're going to keep you busy. Don't get too comfortable.
I'm
All
not
right.
getting too comfortable here.
We have another stock on the pink current, got all our green ticks, 70 cents today, 75% run. That's pretty decent. This is NXTN, Next 10 Inc. I
Okay.
did have a little time to jump around and see if I could learn anything about this. The only thing I could see was, from what I could find, is that they've had some strong earnings. They've had some bad years. They were running at a loss. They're now running good. The company has a business where they help truck drivers, semi truck drivers, get jobs earning the money to pay for the truck they're working in. And they primarily work with refrigerated trucks. They said that's their niche. They don't want to go out. They just want to stick in that niche. And they say that they're doing pretty well right now financially. Last year was a big jump. They went from 10 million to 28 million. They were quite excited about that. And the growth is continuing right now. They don't have anything else on the quarterly. Share structure. Well, I don't know what the float really is. I'm not going to believe it's 198,000 shares, but it could be. We are, as a matter of fact, because this is a pink, you can jump over into a disclosure. This is about the only place guaranteed that you can find the float. And without having to do a lot of scrolling, you can normally just put in the word float and find it. There you go. Wow, it is pretty low. As of December 31st,
Yeah,
2022, less than a half a million. So you've got an unbelievably low float here, folks. And what
it's
was,
very difficult to chart that one. I was looking at it because there's like hardly any volume. So you have to go to a really high time frame on those.
yeah, a bar here and a bar there
Yeah,
every month.
exactly.
So
It's
what
like
was the relative
dots.
volume on this company? Yeah, look at that. 47 shares a
Yeah.
day.
Even on the
Now,
daily chart. Yeah.
Now that's a 30-day average. It may have only traded 10 days at 100 shares a day, but when you divide it by 30 days, you end up with 47 a day. But there's lots of days it didn't trade. So I expect to see that on a chart, a very small chart on big time frames.
NXTN.
And she had a big day today, 2,200 shares. Come on now. Figure out the relative volume there from 47 to there. That's like five 50 times the normal volume. So it's a pretty
Still
big jump.
very difficult to
And
chart.
I don't think they have any. Yeah, we've already looked at that. So basically, we just need to look at this chart, but I can't find anything beyond the fact that they're growing. They are growing. They are helping people get jobs and buy their own trucks. And this is a business that is still growing until we get these driverless semis out there. Then all those people are going to be in trouble too, which is something to put in the back of your mind for a company like this. There's going to be a lot of competition for driverless trucks. Yeah, in inner city, you need your drivers, but long distance, that's going to be getting less and less, I think. All right, I'm ready to check out that chart for NXTN.
Yeah, wait till you see this. Okay. Because I gotta get okay, so this is the daily. So let me get over there. Let's see which one is presenting. So, I mean, it's really hard to see some of these bars. Okay, you can see.
You have the option, Taylor, of turning on your Heiken Ashi
Oh
bar.
yeah, I can do that. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that'll give us more instead of so much bald space.
Hang on.
That's okay. I caught you.
Um,
The Heikinashi is a whole different bar than we use, folks. It'll show you the
yeah,
pressure
there
up
we go.
and
I couldn't
down,
see
even
it.
if
Yeah,
nothing
there we
moves.
go.
Yeah, a lot better, right?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
You can see
Sorry.
it.
It's hard. It was hard to see what because I don't usually use that. All right. So we did have a little more volume today. Let's see here what I
Really?
see now. I always start with the daily, but let me start with the weekly just because, this has been so weird. Um, all right. So it looks like we were having some bullish movement there for a while from like 2020 on until recently, maybe like yeah, the end of 2022. Had this looks kind of like a bear flag to me on the weekly, but here, since we had a lot of volume, this I guess this was from today, but this is the weekly chart. It looks
Right.
like it's starting to reverse here, but if you zoom in a little more, now since the week isn't over, so I'm not going to say this quite yet, but it looks like we're like bumping our head here on the 9 EMA. So that could be an indication that it's not exactly ready for a reversal, but it might be. So let's go to the daily and see what we see. Okay, so the daily looks a lot better. Um, we did surpass because we have so much more volume today. We did get past the 9 and the 21, but we don't have any crossover just yet. And I think this is because, I'm kind of getting fooled because these are the Heikin-Ashi candles. So,
Right.
I would probably wait to enter this and until we see these two crossover on the daily chart would be just what I would personally do before entering this trade. Um, it's not about like I don't see any major resistance. I would say if we can get past maybe where this was, see, right now it's okay, if we can we're past these, but I'd like to see these cross over on the daily. So let's see if we can see what happened today. So this is the 15-minute, doesn't really that yeah, see, I can't really see anything. It looks exactly
Right.
like the
Yeah.
daily. When you
47
go to the
shares a day.
15,
What's to see?
you can't see any difference when you go to the 15 minutes chart. So,
No.
it just because of these are Heikenot, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Um,
But she's
but
had a
yeah, I mean,
strong push,
we ha
and it's just for financials. I really don't, unless there's a piece of news or a tweet, you should check Twitter. There's a lot of communication done there that you don't find anywhere else, and it can definitely move the market. So, do some more due diligence here. She's obviously got volume coming in for something. And that news
yeah,
we looked at was not, it wasn't today's news. So I don't
mhm.
know why she got attention. There has to be a reason. And the chart doesn't look like it was set up for anything to pop. So I don't know
No,
why people would jump into it today.
it definitely wasn't. But if I go back to, the normal candles, you can see what happened. It's very weird, but, we basically went from here and had a major gap up and it just gapped up overnight. So something happened along with a
Yep.
couple of bigger, volume candles
So
here.
if this was a 24-hour
Okay.
hour show, we'd have enough time to dive into this and figure it
So
out.
there we
But
go.
now there is something out there. It's not easily found, but a little more research, you might be able to dig it up. Just don't stick to Google. Put in these words at Twitter. Put them in over at Investors Hub. See what people are saying over there. Let them do the research for you. Cash in on their work.
And that's what I'm seeing there. So hope that helped a little.
Every little bit counts. All right, let me see. I've got another one here, and this one comes from Mr. Mojo. Loving that name. This is Fang. Fang, not Meagle. We're going to see Meagle. I was doing some pre-research here. All right. They tell us here that, and he's already given us some insight here, China Television and Mobile. They tell us here that Phoenix New Media Limited is a leading new media company providing premium content on integrated internet platforms on PCs and mobiles in China. They tell us the company's reliance is online and mobile advertising for a majority of its total revenue. So that's their primary focus. They're working on different devices for advertising in China, which is a huge market. A little success in a company over there measures out to big success to our standards. What else did I find out about Fang? Let's see here. Looking at her share structure, it's going to be a decent share structure. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if you can find it. It's on the New York Stock Exchange, Fang. She's just under $3, and she had 11% fall today. Any catalysts over here? I didn't see it. If I did, I'd have probably had it pulled up. They had a change of executive officer. That was a while ago. And yeah, we got a 6. I do believe that was their financial annual report. Yeah, this is what I just read, but there was a second financial, I do believe it was, on the 20F. Now, I didn't dive all the way into this because this is bloody long, folks. I mean, this is a huge one with a lot of information. So if you're really interested in this company, Mr. Mojo, I've got some reading for you to do. So we've got hundreds of pages there, and I have not looked at any of them. Let's see what else we can learn over here.
Did they actually release their earnings report? Because TradingView says that it's coming up on the 15th of May,
That one is on. It says it
but
came out on the
it could be
1st. Now
wrong.
let's see what it says at the very top. Form 20F. I think this is the foreign one for the Cayman Islands.
It could
Instead of like,
absolutely be wrong.
pardon?
I could absolutely be wrong. TradingView is
Oh,
just
I
saying
thought you
that.
were saying you could actually. It's like I
No,
haven't
no,
heard that from a woman in a long time.
no. TradingView could be wrong because it's saying the 15th is when they're releasing their earnings report.
All right. Well, we've got something here. It's got a lot of numbers in it.
It
I'll tell you that much.
then
And
it might have
well,
already been released.
and speaking of their financials, they've been coming down 190, 184, 161, 113. And you can see even their gross profit is coming down big time. Looking at their balance sheet real quick, they got 15 million in the bank, 300 million in assets roughly, and 100 million in liabilities. So they're not doing bad. They are hanging in there, but I can't see any catalyst. I don't see anything. I would have thought it was something in this 20F, but that's going to take me a week to read. So I
What
don't
is
know
this
what's there.
company exactly? What does this company do?
And they work in China on PCs and mobile devices with advertising that they do
Okay.
just in China.
Okay.
And that is their primary business, is the advertising. They obviously do other things. We just haven't noticed what it is yet.
Okay.
So outside of that, I don't see anything else that I can really tell you except maybe the volume. I do want to see that. Less than half of what they normally do. And what they normally do is under the radar. 140,000 shares a day. Today, they only did 61,000 shares. So not a lot of attention being paid to it today, but I don't think I've checked this chart out. So this will be a virgin viewing for me. What you got there,
Yep.
Taylor?
I've got it up already. Let's
Let me pop your button.
okay. So I'm looking at the daily chart as usual.
Oh,
So here's what happened. We basically were in just consolidation for a very long time.
wow.
Something must have happened the other day because we kind of just,
What day is that?
the first day, this was just a little bit of volume. This was on the 1st of May, and then we had another gap up on the 2nd. But what's interesting here, look how long these tails are. I mean, we went all the way up to $4. So this may have halted during trading. Look at this volume compared to, you know, how it
Right.
usually is.
And
And
that's
this
the
is
day that
insane.
20F came out, as well as the 6K. The two filings we looked at
Yeah.
both came out on the 1st.
I mean, so this is, I mean, it came all the way up to what it was trading at. This was,
Wow.
see
Yeah.
how we're in consolidation here too. You know, from probably last summer to the near November. I don't know what happened here, but I mean, it was trading right along that 200 MA, and then something happened that just made it just crash for 2 straight days, and then we just started kind of came down, up, back down to like a support, had a little bit of support here, so that's good. That's a good sign. But it did break it here, but we had some support right around here. But this candle doesn't look too bad. I mean, I could see saying after hours it dropped, but you know, it it came down and then the buyer stepped in and pushed it right back up. So this area isn't too bad. We had all these crossovers here, the 921.50. So we're in a pretty good spot right here. If we can just get up to that 200 on the daily, then I think we'd be in good shape. Let me see if 15-minute will show us much. Not really. It's hard to see. Let's see the 1 hour. All right. Not too bad. It looks like it just, you know, like most stocks are when the opening bell, you know, we got a
Yeah.
lot of volume come
First
in
half hour.
and then it just kind of trails off and it's just sitting there, whatever.
What's your
Um,
purple line there?
this is the
What?
200 MA.
So she is trying to get up to that 200, which is when everybody thinks things are going to happen. When
Yeah.
the price gets close to the 200, people focus in on it, gets over it a bit. You start seeing some activity. Doesn't mean it's going to climb, but at least it's getting attention and volume at that point.
Well, it would be nice because it was right up there for quite a while. This is the daily chart and it's just coming right along just
What a
it's
drop.
almost like a support,
Yep.
and
Yep.
which is excellent. I love to see that. I would have stayed in it this whole time even if it, I mean, it
Drew
broke
just a
that,
little.
but it broke it hard. I mean, we're talking from 435 all the way down to 250. I mean, that's basically almost a
40%.
40%. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Quite a drop. But we did pick up some support right around this area, so that's good. And now I think we're trying to get back, but you know, people were obviously taking their profit. I would say the people that had it here were
Really?
like, okay, let me just get out while I can. That's why this wicked up so much and came down pretty hard. When you see these big long wicks like this, that was probably profit taking.
Yeah. Well,
It's
with
my
that.
guess. So, yeah, so on these, smaller cap stocks, I like to look at the daily chart, so that's what we're looking at. We can also go to the 4 hour. You can see we don't really see as much. But yeah, that's what happened here too. It never could hold above that. This is the 200 MA on the 4 hour. You can see it didn't hold at all. It came up above it, you know, at the beginning of the day on the second, could not hold above on the 4 hour at all. So there's the 4 hour, but I like the daily myself. So there it is.
All right. Next.
Hope that helped.
All right. Let's see. We have Mr. Roy L. Come on, Mr. Roy L. Fuchs. Yes, we do. All right. We are looking at, um,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
right. Yeah, you almost had me. Google will get mad at me if I say that. We are looking at look at me. I just got all red. NLLSF.
Okay.
Now ASA. First thing that catches my eye here is that she's pink limited. She is at $1.30. She had a little bit of a fall today, but pink limited means she's late on one or more of her financials. And that's a serious thing on the OTC. A lot of stuff going on down here, but if you don't get your filings in on time, they'll yank you off the OTC, throw you down to the expert market. Your shares can't be bought or sold while you're down there. If you're invested in it, you're in limbo until they come out. Normally the price plummets while they're down there. Yeah, I know it can't be bought or sold. Marketers and brokers just rape it. I swear to God. Once they catch up with their filings, it comes back up. Well, it's a lot easier to get your filings done early. Problem is, they don't give us any information over here. I can't tell what they're late on. I don't know. Why did they pull all the information off of here? Is something updating? Sometimes you see that, a blank page when they're updating. Looking at their share structure, well, it looks like it's probably too many. 1.4 billion outstanding. I'm not going to presume it's a low float with that much in the outstanding. News. We've got earnings presentation. That was at the end of last month, but news, no, I don't see any news here. Now, I see from the comment, he says that this company is building a hydrogen cell factory, maybe. I didn't catch that, but I started to do a search here to see if I could find that. And what did I find? Go Premium. What is now ASA, which I do believe is their company name. Strange name. They tell us here that Go Premium to see this now ASA, blah, blah, blah. A hydrogen company delivers various solutions to produce, store, and distribute hydrogen from renewable energy in Norway, the United States, Denmark, and it goes on. Now, I net plans, there it is. So we do have news. I guess there's another factory coming to Michigan too as well. I just talked about it. They're making these devices that are aftermarket that go on electric cars that make the cars increase in their mileage on one charge from 269 to 430 miles. I just talked about that company the other day. Let's see here. Yes, today now announced its plans to build a new automated gigawatt electrolyzer manufacturing facility in Michigan. When fully developed, the facility will employ more than 500 people, thank you very much, and be among the largest electrolyzer manufacturer plants in the world. I don't know what that is. I would have to go look up what electrolyzers are. However, they're working with hydrogen, and I think hydrogen is the future. Doesn't matter about these EV cars. EV cars can run on hydrogen. You're not burning the hydrogen. It's just being converted into electricity. You break it apart, you get electricity, water, and oxygen. Oxygen. Believe that? The more you drive, the more oxygen you put in the air. You're driving in the desert, get thirsty, let the car run, get your cup, let the water come out of the tailpipe. I'm not kidding. It is that clean. You can drink it. And you're getting electricity to drive your car. And hydrogen, it's everywhere. It's everywhere and freely available. You don't have to rape the planet to get it. So this company's got some things going for it, but we're not getting a whole heck of a lot of information over here about it. Financials, there's nothing to see. How about a balance sheet? Nada. So the best thing, well, I can't. I was going to say jump into a financial, but we don't have any information over here. Now, something that catches my eye, this is another asset of the company, unsponsored ADRs. All right, unsponsored ADRs. These are shares actually held in a bank. These are not being held by stockbrokers. And sometimes, see that says unsponsored? Believe it or not, the company's shares can be put on the market without the company even knowing about it, without approving it. This is a whole different situation. So personally, I would just keep my eye on the right one, NLLSF. Don't worry about the one with the Y on it. So they're late on something. If we see grace period fall under here, under yellow, that means they got 15 days countdown to get that filing or attorney letter or whatever it is they got to get in. And if they don't, they're gone. They're on the expert market. There's no dilly-dallying. It'll show up. And just for your knowledge right here, folks, corporate actions, every single morning, come on over here. They've got lots of pages. You're only seeing one page here. You can come down here to tier changes, and it'll tell you if they move down to the expert. Pink, move to expert. This comes out every single day before the market. So you know when things are going to jump. You see something come off the expert market, back onto the open market, you better put that on your watch list. As I said, these stocks get raped in price, and they normally fall under 0001. under. That's right. Sometimes 401. But when they come back on the market, they got to be at least 0001, and that's where they'll land. 0001, 0002. But the price may have been a penny and a half when it went off the market. Well, guess what happens? Wham! Right back to a penny and a half. And if you can be there, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you can be there at the bell, you might get some of that. All right. Where was I? I got completely lost here, right? We've got no more information. So let's take a look at that chart for NLL, whatever it was, SF. SF.
Yep. I already got it.
Does it look anything nice?
It looks interesting. That's why I was drawing lines and everything. Kind of reminds me of what the SPY was looking like. Okay, so I'm going to zoom way out on the daily chart, going back to like 2021. So we were in this downward, sorry, I keep getting alerts. So we were in this downward channel-ish. All right, so I like where it was going here. All right, so after that downward channel, we have, okay, we have like a retest. It did not come back down. Came up here, hit some resistance, came back and retested again. And now we're back up. This is the 9 and the 21. Looks like it's just about to cross over. So if it does, it might hang out here in this area for a while. So I would say until it comes back down here and either retest this or it might fall through. But if it does come back down to retest this area, I might pick some up. And then, because I'm using this as a support area now until it maybe gets to here, the 200 MA, or it may come all the way up to this resistance 184. And if it goes beyond that, obviously, I think we've seen a reversal. But as you can see, we've been in this kind of a downward, bearish for quite a while, or since, it's been a couple years. But if we do retest this, it could absolutely reverse. We could see that because that's what it did here. It just hit something when this is, I guess, when it first started. We saw a lot of, it came all the way up to $4. We're only at what, 130 now. I would say if it comes back, to like the 107-ish area and bounces off of this, we could enter there. Let's see what 4 hour looks like. Yeah, about the same. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I'd like to see it get over this 9 area and definitely above here.
I don't hate it. I don't
hate it either. I don't hate the chart. I don't hate this chart. I am actually pretty interested in it. It's respecting this area. It has been for a few months, so I like that. If it does decide to retest, might want to pick some up. I would look at this on the daily. So I think it around, like, if it comes down to 108, 109, whatever, it could, and that could be a pretty big. If it comes back up to where it's testing even this 200 MA, that's a pretty substantial move. That's some good profit right there.
Well,
I don't hate the chart.
A habit of going right back to that SMA. It likes to stay up in a high area.
I don't hate this. I really don't. It looks like it's trying to reverse. If you can catch that at that support, like if you would have done it right here, that's a pretty substantial move. It doesn't look like a lot, but from like 112 up to 130, that's whatever percent that is. That's not chump change. That's pretty good. I don't hate this chart. I really don't. It's not bad.
There you go, folks.
So that's what I'm saying.
Again, I don't hate this chart.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
All right, we have a stock from Kashira Ratnayak. Boy, I know I messed that up, but give me a break. Let's just call you KR. I like that. Is this the same one, Kashira, that is following me on Twitter? I don't know. It's not a very common name. All right, she wants to talk about a stock that was hot for a while there. I bet Taylor is familiar with Meagle. Magic Empire Global Limited.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get that stock that came out. Do you remember when it came out?
I do. I do remember that.
had like 2 to 4 or 5 million shares, super small float. We had HKD and Migo both come out about at the same time. HKD ran up to over $2,000, and this one ran up to near $250, and
Mm-hmm.
then fell all the way back down to 89 cents. And
Yep.
what?
I said, "Yep, yep." I'm
Yep, yep.
looking at it right now, agreeing with you. Yes.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. And I'm over here hoping to find some catalyst. Now, Chinese stocks, it's like fashion. It comes in, it goes out, it comes in, it goes out. And you really can't tell with these Chinese stocks, but most of them, for some reason, unlike Americans, have small floats. Now, they've increased theirs a little bit. I don't know what the float is, but I see they have 20 million outstanding shares now. As I said, I couldn't find a catalyst. I looked around the news. I came over here and I checked out their disclosures. And that's old. There's a 20F. It's probably just as big as that last one. It sure is. My God. And this is from the Chinese, who don't want to give us a lot of information. So, what the heck is all that? So, I did do a search and I couldn't find anything here. There was nothing over here except that they put out a lot of numbers we just saw, and people are trying to analyze these numbers and make some sort of sense of them. But it doesn't seem to be a catalyst, that's for sure. Today, she finished at $2.04 with almost 11% drop. Penny stock on the NASDAQ, at least she's over $1. We don't have to worry about that. Financials, they're not making much money, are they? Geez. Now they just came on the market. So, this, I don't even know. Yeah, they got 1.4 million here, but I'm thinking they haven't even been on the market a whole year, have they? It hasn't been that long, has it, Lily? I mean,
No, no.
old
Um,
habits die hard.
I think it came on around August
Right,
of last
right.
year. Yeah, 2022. Yep.
So let's take a look at that chart. There just isn't anything over here. Now, it is a NASDAQ stock. It is a Chinese stock. That's kind of
I
tough for
got
the
it.
OTC market to keep up with.
It's a little
Uh,
bit interesting. Now see, this is that run up you were talking about. Do you have it on yet? I can't. I
I
only
do. I
have
do.
one.
You're good.
Okay. Okay. I only had the one screen. Okay. Can you see my mouse when I'm moving it around too or
I
not?
sure can.
Oh,
Yeah. I see your mouse, a little
okay,
white
cool.
hand.
Yeah, because when I'm pointing things out, it's hard to know what people are seeing. Okay. So yeah, this was you said it ran up to about 250. That's what happened. And then just came down and just plummeted pretty much. But as you can see, when there's areas of volume, we do have like a little bounce, little bounce, little bounce.
And
Okay,
those
here.
probably aren't as little as they look. There's probably some good profit in those
Oh,
bounces.
huge profit. Yeah, but I'm just saying just by the looks of this daily chart because this is a humongous bounce. I mean, you know, what
Scary.
all the way. I mean, that's insanity. You
But
don't
but you
see
can
that.
see every time volume comes in, because it's such a small float, it
Yeah,
jumps.
right. You see, anytime volume comes in, it's going to jump. And yeah, you're right. It's not little, and 122 all the way up to 350,
Woo!
315. Yeah. So here,
Whoa.
look at the volume bar here. We had a
God.
giant move all the way up to $6. I bet this was it was profit taking. This is wild. Now you can see volume's still there. It's kind of tailing off. What's interesting here, there's a couple of things. So this is still looking kind of bullish, even though it's coming down because we bounce right here, just exactly off of this 9 EMA on the daily chart. But look, this is what I think is so interesting. All right, so we basically have, was it the 4 hour? Yeah, I guess it was. We basically have this like wedge forming on the 4 hour chart and support right here on the 200 MA. You can't see the 200 MA on the daily chart because, it hasn't been 200
Not
days,
not
so we
enough
don't
data.
have that. But on the 4 hour, we have that and it's been acting as support for a few days, couple days, whatever. If it breaks beyond this, it could keep falling. But if we have a break above this wedge, I think we could get another, surge if we get some volume in there. So we would have to look for a break of this wedge, maybe even above here. If it holds above here, even better. But it would need to break out of this like descending wedge is what I would say. And it's got to have more volume if we're going to see another run up. But that's what I'm seeing. And I do like the support here on the 200. It's obviously been kind of straight, but
Boy, when that volume comes in, she gets activity. I mean, really, you got to
yeah,
put that on your chart. As soon as you see volume, well, there you go. When does she ever let us down?
yeah, if you see some volume and a break above this wedge, descending wedge, we could potentially come back to that $5 level. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. It could
No,
absolutely do that.
$5 when she's hit 300.
Definitely. But if you do get in it, I would get out uh, below this, because I mean, it might just keep falling. And if the volume keeps trailing off to almost nothing, you're gonna have to just get out, or you're gonna be a bag holder. Sorry to say that, because we all hate that. But I think this is a good looking chart right here, but we're gonna have to see another surge in volume, a break above this descending wedge. Even better if we can see it above the 9 EMA, because right now we have that bearish crossover right there, the 9 below the 21.
I,
So
I
that's what I'm
agree.
seeing on the 4 hour.
I'm total agreement there. That's exactly the way it looks to me. And I like Migo, especially at this price. Like I said,
Yeah,
anything
looks pretty
happens
good.
across the entire Chinese sector, you will see a bunch of Chinese stocks run with no catalyst. It's all sympathy moves. And this is one of those stocks that likes to bounce when that happens.
Yep. I hope that
Okay.
helped.
Always helps. I love other people charting. I really do. I learned so much from seeing what other people do. All right. Our next one here is from, let me see. Oh, she snuck another one in there. Well, we're going to do it anyways because I'm already set up. Kishara DPLS, which is a good company to be considering. DPLS, Dark Pulse. They have this technology where they use a dark pulse. All their new technology checks out bridges and buildings for structural integrity, pipes and water lines to see if there's any fractures, cracks, something that's going to break before it breaks. This is great, you know. This is something they could use in California after earthquakes. I think that would be a great thing to use it for. DPLS. God. Now, somebody, and I know who it is, I'm going to check this out real quick here. Somebody asked me not to forget about the stocks I talk about. Robert Ray, you make a real good point. He came to the show and asked me to look at a stock, and I had just done a video on it and couldn't remember a thing. When we went over to the OTC, what I had found wasn't on the OTC, and I couldn't remember. Not because I'm senile, but because I look at a lot of stocks. I really do. And I just couldn't remember. So he's talked me into making some notes. So I've got myself a notepad. So from now on, if I can't find information, I'm building it up right now, going through all of my videos, pulling out all the catalysts, talk about more work. So that if you do ask me about a stock I've talked about, even if I can't remember, I'm going to have that notepad right here. So I can jump in and tell you, oh, yeah, it was this. So Dark Pulse. I don't see it here. Looking at the news, I was under the impression they had some sort of right there. Dark Pulse announces approval of additional 1 month extension to complete its initial business combination. I thought they were doing a merger. Who are they doing this with? Global Systems Dynamics? Approved request for additional money. No, that's who they're working with. So I haven't got all the facts here because you just, threw the ticker at me. I'm working with what I got here, including this. Let me see. Did I pull something up here? They just had a Twitter Space general business meeting that just happened on May 1st. So if you saw any bounces on the charts, that could be it. If they said anything verbally, what they say verbally is non-binding. So it could be exciting, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. The one thing that stands out to me here is we got Pink Limited again, delinquent sec reporting. They're late. This NT 10K was filed on the 31st. Lots of people filed them on the 31st. That means not filing our annual report. And they give you an excuse in there. It doesn't matter what it is. And it gives them 15 more days. Well, we're past that, folks. We are way past that. That was supposed to be on 4/15. So they're late. They're in trouble. Next thing we got to watch for is that grace period. It pops up, and they're not going to tell you when they're going to be kicked off. But if you come over here to the quote tab right there, scroll down to proprietary quote eligibility, right up under PKE reason, it'll say grace period, and it'll tell you the very last day that they're going to be on the OTC market. So don't be getting into a stock if you see grace period up there. Chances are you could be in limbo with them, and you don't know how long they can be on the expert market. The share structure. Oh my God, no. Not only do I hate huge floats like 6.8 billion shares because you don't get much pie, they're very thin slices for all that you're putting into it. They're just screaming reverse split. As soon as they start getting any success, as soon as they start grabbing some attention, the price gets up a little bit higher, not down here. Nobody wants to do a reverse split down here because you're wasting. But if you can get up over a penny, 2 cents, it's tempting. I want to get to the NASDAQ. Now, they've got a deal going on, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. But I'm expecting something to change with the share structure after the merger. I just can't expect to have 6.8 billion shares for this company on the NASDAQ. Not to say NASDAQ companies don't have billions of shares. Exxon has billions of shares. Companies like Tesla, they keep doing forward splits because the price gets too big. They got to bring the price down. Well, that keeps making the share count higher. And they easily have billions and billions of shares, but they've got shareholder value. These companies don't, not yet. So that does scare me there. Disclosures for DPLS. Well, we've got that 1/8K that just came out. That's the one I just told you about. And another one old. We don't have to worry about that one. And their financials. They just started making money. No, that was 2021, 7.7 million. Let me see what we got here. We've only got 3 quarters, 2, 6, 7, 8. They're at $8 million, and that already surpasses last year. And we got one more quarter to add on to that. And they're late. So that has got to come out. It looks like it should be better. I've been reading a lot of things they've been doing. They're busy, so I expect there to be more money there. And just getting that pink limited back to pink current is going to be a nice thing as well. Does the chart look like there's been any activity here recently?
Actually, yeah, it does.
Let me poke you on over. Where'd you go? There you is.
It
Too many
does,
buttons.
actually.
There you go.
I'm gonna zoom way out. I'm on the daily. So, obviously there was a lot more back here. Well, it was barcoding for a while. When it had this big jump, this is when it was well over a penny, 2 cents, all the way up to 17 cents. Looks like, or 19 cents was its high. And then we've been in a downward, bearish sentiment all the way from July of 21 until recently.
That's a
This
long
is
hair.
interesting here. So this is the 200 MA on the daily chart. And this was just, just a simple trend line. It did go through a few, but I'm trying to hit all of
Yep.
these points here.
Yep.
It bounced right off of it, came down and bounced right off of the 9 EMA here on the daily.
We
So I
love that.
think, yeah, I don't hate this one either. It's another one I don't hate, because we did have, look at all these bullish crossovers here. The 9 over the 50 and the 21 over the 50. I mean, this looks good here. And then the 21 over the 50, the 9 over the 21 and the 50. We have not reached the 200 yet. That's over the penny mark, like you were talking about. It hasn't reached that yet. I mean, right here we're talking what, 0.00, like what, little more than half a penny. So 0.6 of a cent. I'm not used to working with stuff this small. So I think if we can stay above this 9 and keep this volume up, like, at least something. We
We
we had
get this a lot. People come in doing charting on these OTC stocks after being on a major exchange. It's like, how do you read these charts?
well, no, I can do the chart. It's just the numbers that it's messing with me. I like that it consolidated here for a while and just kind of hung out, you know, and I something must have happened to make it move. It's been moving. But I think if we can stay above here, it's gonna probably hit its head on this trend line again. If it does, that's okay. It might retest. But if it does come up and look, it's right at that 1 penny mark. It's right at
Yep.
it. So right at that trend line that I just drew, and I had no idea where it was. It's right around a penny. Just so if we can get over a penny like you were talking about, and it's kind of like a mental level as well.
Yes.
We can
Yes.
get over that. Yeah, once we can get over that and then maybe test this 200 EMA level, I think we could reverse here. I don't hate this. I don't hate this chart. It's another one I don't hate. It doesn't look that bad. I think we have a chance to at least come back and test this level, which is right at about a penny. That's really interesting. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
That's
4
three I
hour
don't
looks
hates today. We're doing
uh,
good.
4 hours actually even more interesting. Check this out. We bounced right off of the 200 MA on the 4 hour. That was today. Well, it's sitting right at it. It's kind of like acting as a support. It came up here, tried to get through, pushed through, acted as support, hit its head on this trend line, came down. Now, this is so any day now, this is going to be, make it or break it. Is it going to stay at the support or is it going to come back down here? Or is it going to come up and retest this and get past a penny? So this is the 4 hour. So I don't hate this. I do not hate this chart. This looks really good.
Put it on your watch list, folks. Can't
I
hurt.
I I
It's free
don't
to
hate
do.
it. Cause look at all this volume here compared
Yep.
to,
Yep. Volume.
the I don't hate it. Don't hate it, John. Don't hate it.
All right, let's
This
see what you think about this next one.
oh,
This
okay.
comes from Travis Trisco. I bought it up a while back, but I'd like to see your views on GBXI. Recent news releases and paperwork has been put in to drop the shell risk. Happy Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday to you too. Oh, 420. Hope you enjoyed it. Um, I was talking about 420 in the afternoon, not April 420. All right, I have jumped directly into the financials because being a shell company means that you are not making any money yet. You're not in business. You're not doing anything. Well, the first thing I see is all the way up here. It's one of the very first questions. Indicate by a check whether the company is a shell company. No. Indicate by check whether the company's shell status has changed. No. So that means they're making money. Well, the next thing you do is come down and see how much money they're making. So I scroll all the way down to the first boxes. I see they've got assets. They've got 19, I think that's just thousands. Yep, we don't add no 3 zeros here. That's just 19,000 and liabilities 105,000. So they're a startup company. They got more debt than they do have assets. But here's the problem. Where's the beef? I don't see any revenues here. 2023, 2022, 3 months, 9 months. So I'm not quite sure why that's saying not shell risk. But then again, or shell, there's a lot of information here, and I haven't gone through it all. And you might find one paragraph. Matter of fact, one of the things you should always do is go to the very, very bottom of any financial you were curious in the first place, looking for information. Subsequent events. This is something they squeeze in at the very last minute, something that's happened after the filing period, but up to the time they release the filing. And you never know what it might be. Jonathan Brooks Bailey submitted his resignation from his officer position. Anything else there? No. So that's what you learn. So if you were attached to the guy, I'm sorry. GBXI, she finished today at 16 cents. And boy, that 1034, negative and positive, been a number we've seen a few times today. Almost up 11% today. Pink Current, got her green ticks, looking real good over here. Shell Risk, not Shell Company. Shell Risk is even more important. That means they're in business. but they're not making any money. Shell company means you're not in business yet. You're waiting for something to happen. And that's okay. Those are opportunities if they don't have any debt, if they're not holding a lot of, bad press or anything. But soon here, I think 2024 September, there's going to be a lot of new rules about shell companies on the OTC. They're going to be a lot like SPACs. They're going to be given deadlines to get a business in or get out. You're not going to be a shell company forever. You're not going to do that. So things are going to be changing in that arena. No SEC filings. Those are old. Share structure. Well, let's hope it's that low. They're telling us 7.6 million in the float. I'd look that up. It could be found. Okay, by golly, we were already over there. Let's just pull that up if we can. Right here, let's just put in float. FLOAT. Did it come up? No, they did not. See, it's not a guarantee. So I don't know what the float is, folks, but it looks like it could be low. In either case, it's not going to be more than 140 million. And the volume today, well, about 3 times more. Jumped from 19,000, not a lot, to 50,000. No, it's not a lot, but it is 250, 300% increase. More people were looking at it today than yesterday. That's a start. So what does the chart look like? Looks like she had some gains today on what? I really don't know.
Ready to look at it? I've been looking at it. Got some interesting things here. Now I zoomed. Oh yeah. Well, don't judge too quick. Don't judge too
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I zoomed way out. Okay, this is the daily chart, but we're starting way over here, almost to where we started in 2006. What really caught my attention before anything else, before this volume spike and all this, we had not one but two 1 for 100 splits, forward splits.
Forward.
Yeah. That
No,
would be
that should be a reverse. 1 share for every 100.
Oh, reverse, I meant. Whatever.
Yeah.
Two of them though.
Okay.
My mind went because I'm saying there's 2 of them. Okay, sorry. And another one at November 2019, which that's really not. I wasn't really that long ago. So we had
That's
2 of
probably
them.
why they probably do have a super small float then.
Yeah. So there was 2 of them. Then we had a lot of volume right after that, but it's mainly just a downward trend.
Yeah.
Right after those splits, we kind of, we lost that. And we never really held it. It's just been following right under this 200 MA this whole time. Now, here's what's interesting. So that was way back. Okay, so I went way back. Now let's look at just like 2023 area. All right, so I'm going to switch to the 4-hour. So I know there's a lot of like little dots and stuff, but here we go. Here's another one of these wedges forming right here. So this right here is something pretty interesting. It's on the daily too, I think. Let me see.
Yeah, get squeezed into that wedge and it's got to pop
Yep.
like toothpaste coming out of the end. And just look down at your oscillators.
Yep.
Are they pointing up?
Right
That's where
here.
the toothpaste is going to go. Are they pointing
Right
down?
here. I don't hate this. I really don't. It's another one that I don't hate. This is
I'm going to get a
not
motto.
bad.
We're going to put that across the top. I don't hate this.
I mean,
Hey, if there's a little potential like that, you got your little dragon head there at the top.
we have some
Yeah.
potential. This is the 4-hour, and look at all these EMAs lining up. All of them. 9, 21, 50, 200. We're above that. We closed above that. If we can break out of this wedge, we might be able to see a breakout. Because if we go back to the daily, our long-term trend has been obviously pretty bearish, but probably since the 200 or the 200 2022, like midsummer, it's really just been kind of barcoding, kind of just sitting here and just this downward trend. But when you see these big spikes volume, you can see quite a bit, like, so 4 cents all the way up to 8 cents. I mean, that's a 100% gain. These are 100% gain, these candles. You know, I'm not used to that, seeing that quite a bit of, I mean, that's
Welcome to
100%
the
gain.
OTC,
What
Taylor.
was this one? Points, 7 cents all the way up to 27 cents in
You
one
see the
day
temptation to play the penny stocks. I
in
mean,
January.
100%
That's
bounces
a
over
huge
and over.
move. I can imagine how this may have been halted or something. I mean, you can see there was this huge amount of volume, in
Right.
relatively huge amount of volume, and
Yep.
we went from about 7 cents up to 27 cents. That's an enormous gain. We went above the 200 MA, it came back down. It's just been right under it, finally broke above it. Once it did, this is the daily again. Once it did, we've been following this 9 EMA all the way up to here. We're retesting it now, and on the 4-hour, we got this beautiful wedge that we need to break out of, and then we might be able to see one of those days again where it spiked up. Uh, Volume was starting to come down, but we did have another big day today. This is the 4-hour again. So let's see, what, 13 to 16? That's pretty good gain. It's like 13 all the way up to 20, 21. Maybe we can see another one of those. It probably, I would say, it will stay in this. It's going to squeeze and either, pop out this way, or it's going to just fall out and come down to wherever the 200 MA is at that time. That's
Right.
what I would say, but I don't hate it. But that's what I see on the chart.
All right. We have Jerome Horace. Hey, Jerome. Good to see you. Well, you know what I mean. Can you guys check STBX? Well, of course we can. That's why we're here. STBX, Starbucks Group Holdings, finished today at 289 with almost 3% gains. Penny stock on the NASDAQ. I'm loving these penny stocks on the NASDAQ. They've been hot. So, Starbucks Group, they're headquartered in Malaysia. They are a technology company that builds cash rebate and digital advertising. They have payment solutions. The company connects retail merchants with retail shoppers to facilitate transactions through cash rebates offered by retail merchants on their Get Bats website. They started working with AI. That was just here on March 31st, but then who isn't? If you do any customer service, people are working with AI. But AI outside of customer service, AI helping your business grow to do innovative things. That's a whole different thing than just customer service. And that's what a lot of people are using this chat GPT for, is customer service, asking questions, talking to it, putting you in touch with things you want. But to actually use it as part of your business, that's an entirely different thing. And it could be very profitable. As a matter of fact, I don't want to get into this too much, but I just watched a show the other day where they say laws need to be made right now by the government because AI is growing at such an incredible rate that it's going to give a disadvantages to companies over other companies. It's going to ruin the competitive market. And they say if you don't put laws in place right now, the damage is going to happen. So we've got to keep our eye on AI. It's going to be more than just the internet or smartphones. This is going to change things, and we're not even quite sure how. Terminator, maybe. Utopia, maybe. Who knows? What else? I did see another piece of news over here. Starbucks successfully uses cutting-edge AR, augmented reality technology, to enhance its cash rebate systems. So they're using any sort of technology they can to reach out and stimulate the customers to use their products at their merchants. And this is over in Malaysia. Okay, so let's see what we have on share structure. Don't know what the float is, but it's under 45 million. We can live with that. Money. They made 7.1 million at the end of September last year. Got to keep almost 5 million of it, and they're late. I bet you we're going to see an NTK over here. Well, it's going to be a 6K or something. That should have been out already. They're filing for December. Everybody's December should be out, whether it be the quarterly or the annual. They should be out already. Group holdings. Corporate governance, I don't know, but they are late. One of these filings is probably going to say that. This is interesting, though, and I know they're a ways back, but these 13Gs are investors. These are people that buy so many shares, they qualify as a partner now. They get a percentage of the company, voting rights. And I just seen a slew of them there, and they're always good. They're always good. So you got the name of the person there, how many shares they bought, and the percentage. And you can have more than one on each one of these. And we just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 without opening up. So there's some information there. Outside of that, I don't see anything else that's really happening here. She dropped a little bit in her volume, about 500,000 shares a day. Today she did 380. So she's just hanging around right now. I don't see any catalysts. She's got things going on, but it doesn't seem to be catching fire. But with the volume on the market, even the big markets, I mean, there's a lot going on right now in the world, and there's a lot of good news going to waste. So what does, I almost called that Starbucks. Doesn't it look like Starbucks? STBX. Let's check out that chart.
Chart's not looking too good. I'm not gonna lie. I
That's
don't
funny.
love it.
It's funny. You bring up a chart that's on a downtrend for 6 years and you go, I don't hate it. And then we see one actually going up and I don't like this chart.
It's not really going up though. We're just kind of I mean,
Yeah, it is
we
more
gotta
sideways. Oh, yeah.
we have some bearish, we got the 9 crossing under the 21 or the 50, I mean. And there's another bearish crossover. I mean, there's what, 2 death crosses right there. I mean, it was on an uptrend, but we're not even testing that line anymore.
Oh,
We've already come back down here.
yeah.
It almost looks like it's trying to create an inverse cup and handle, which is bearish.
Oh, yeah,
So
I see it.
I don't love it, but if we do get some volume, maybe right here we picked up some support. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, because here's the 4-hour. We picked up some support here, but look on the 4-hour, but we're below this 200
Yeah.
MA. We've got to come up here and test this though. We haven't tested it in a while. It was on this uptrend, but it's bumping its head, bumping its head, bumping its head, and it's coming down so much lately, meaning like, within the last month that we've seen all these death crosses see these
And
EMAs.
that's
That
probably because they're late on their financials.
so
People have been
something
waiting for them and they're not
Yeah.
coming.
So short term, meaning just the past, month or so, we've looked death cross, death cross, death cross. It's over and over and over. So we have to at least regain the 200 or we don't have a chance. I was thinking, we have to come up and retest this because this was our, it's coming up, it's coming up. Okay, we're on a bullish movement. Look at this line. Okay, we're testing this resistance. We're nowhere near it. We fell. I mean, if we were following this pattern like we would be around $4 or something. But no, we're down at 289. But like I said, we may have just picked up some support around here. I mean, this could be support like around like this 1-hour chart. It could be right here around this like 275 area. If it does fit, if this is support and comes down and retest this 275 area, then we could reverse. It could always come back and reverse. But right now,
Right.
don't
Right.
love it. Don't love it.
Fair enough.
We got to see this come back and at least retest here. And we
You
have to.
can't say you don't hate everything.
Yeah, I don't love it. That way, yeah, because I'm not saying I
Oh
like it
my.
or I don't like it. I'm just saying I don't love it.
Hey, Taylor,
Aye.
look at the clock.
Oh, it's 4:12 Central
5:12.
Time. 4:12 Central Time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd love that because we go to 5 o'clock and I had no idea I was having so much fun.
I
Folks,
was
I didn't
too.
realize I was running over. I apologize for that. I know some of you didn't mind, but some of you got dinner to cook. Your
Oh
husband's
yeah.
mad at you right now.
Thanks for
So,
having me. Thanks for letting me chart with you guys. I
oh,
enjoyed
I
it.
I am so excited to have you here. You chart a lot the way I do, but you have more. I work with my SMAs too. Some people work, with oscillators, some work just with the bars. So I identified with the way you were charting, but you were
Yeah.
showing me some things. It's like, oh yeah. So thanks for being here.
Sure.
Maybe we'll have you on again. Like I said, Lily's going to be gone for another 2 weeks, maybe just one, but I know I'm going to need someone next week. So if your schedule permits, we would love to have you back.
Awesome. I would love to.
We won't
I
hold
hope
you to
that
anything right
helped.
now.
You know what though? If you want me to bring on other indicators or something, if this is too simple, I can do some more. I was
No,
just showing the
actually,
simplified.
I'm just looking for people who chart differently than I do, which is everybody. And, you know, like Amy, Amy doesn't use anything. She's a naked charter and she knows what she's doing. And we learned from that, you know, the more
Mhm.
exposure we have. So, no, whatever you're accustomed to, whatever you're comfortable with, please just do it that way. I
I
love it.
usually look at, yeah, volume. I look at the EMAs. I look mainly at the 200 MA, and then I do some trend lines. That's usually what I do. And I start out with the higher time frames, and which is perfect for these OTC stocks because they're usually lower volume. But I really enjoyed charting with you today. Thank you so much for having me. Really
And
appreciate
I
it. It's fun.
apologize to James Parker, ENTEF. We didn't get a chance to look at it. Looks incredibly fantastic to me. I know I talked about that one. Sand Tribe, good to see you, pal. Yes, Roy. Atari is back on the market. Pong, PONGF. Pretty much still working with their same games, maybe fix them up a little bit, 3D them, but it's the same old Atari you remember. They're back on the OTC market. Sorry, underdog. Seco or Pouty would have loved to have gotten to him. We only got so much time. And the real tech Greek gives us our final comment. Elon Musk and Steve was co-founder of Apple. Both have said to pause AI before laws to be made. See? So others have been keeping up with this as well. So I know I put in a few of my own thoughts in there and took away from stock charting, but I hope it all makes sense to you. I hope some of it's worthy. And again, thank you, Taylor, for being here. We'll be back next week, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursday. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
I forgot to hit my button first.